misunderstood, right? Because only was that we will be really discussing that part by part if we can make it today. So thank you so much. An epic, okay, Luis Cruz, okay, I think is the one. Late, dear. So an epic is a story of poem, poem, or poem about a great hero who performs daring deeds that require a superhuman courage, right? Like what you have um, written here in the chat box. So this would be a long narrative, okay, deeds of a hero, right? With that it requires, courage, strength, bravery, or whatsoever. So this is told actually orally, right? I know that you are familiar already with the one who wrote this. Okay, you know that he is a blind poet, correct? So, Kate Ranyola, late, he's a blind poet, right? Now you will be telling me, teacher, how come that he was able to write and is blind? Yes. Okay, that's why this is was that told orally. It means he was telling the story when someone was writing. Correct. Okay. So from that, it was told orally and not written. So just like he's telling the things and then someone was writing there. That's why it was being published. Then you will wonder, what very good blind poet, but he was able to write, right? Okay, so that's why it was told orally. Then let's discuss now. Once upon a time, please listen very carefully, people, about the mythological background of the Iliad. Remember, people, the story that the movie, was that movie, story, or novel that we're going to discuss, entitled as Iliad, not Troy, not Helen of Troy. That would be only part of the Iliad. Okay? Just like, okay, teacher, what is the story of like that of Troy? Okay, yes, that would be the title of the movie itself, but that would be under Iliad. Now, in order to really understand the story, you must know some background information. Now, who is Homer? Like what I have said, okay, Homer was a blind poet and storyteller who lived around the time of 720 BC. Now you will wonder, people know that he's blind, but he was able to write. Again, it was told orally, storyteller. So he was only telling the story and someone was writing for him. Okay, that's why it was really published. And Homer was called the blind poet of Greece. Since we discussed already about Greece, right? His two epics, the Iliad and the Odyssey, were learned by heart. So, after the Iliad, I'll be dealing with the short, summary of the Odyssey. So there, as you can see, this is the picture of Homer, so that you will have the idea. So there are many theories about the blind poet Homer, who is credited with the writing Iliad and the Odyssey. So he's very known, he's very familiar because of his stories, the Iliad and Odyssey. So Homer's epics are all that remains of a series of poems that told, the whole story of the Trojan War, right? Okay, so that's why from that, good thing that it has, movie or the Troy. Then the Iliad showcases, people please take note of this, do the screenshot while you are listening, showcases the passions found in the cruelty of war. So it talks about, war. So it is the story of love and heroism. Then the Odyssey, since Albi was that touching a bit, the Odyssey speaks of great adventures. Yan. And then the Odyssey is a term used to describe a difficult or lengthy journey by Odysseus, right? Or Ulysses if it is Greek. Now, let me hear from you. At least give me something. I want you to turn on your microphone or unmute. Just give me at least the characters that you know from the Troy or from the Iliad that you watch. May I hear Pawig, you give me one and at least describe him or her. Okay, who is King Priam? King of Troy. And then he has two sons, correct? Who are the two sons of King Priam? Very good. So from that, I will know if you really watch the movie. So thank you so much. And then how about Pauline? Okay, Pauline is not here.
Echo ba po?
Okay. Who's that? Who is Hekuba? Hekuba? At least before dealing with who is that? Pauline.
Wife of King Priam po.
Pauline. Wife of King Priam. Okay, very good. How about Gabriel? Gabriel?
Portolus po.
Again?
Portol.
Not Pactolus, ha? Maybe you will was that. Okay, it's Patroclus. Again, hindi okay, Patroclus. Again? Who is Patroclus?
Childhood friend po, Julius.
Not Achilles, people, ha? Please listen what I'm telling this. A Patroclus is the childhood, the cousin, yes, the cousin of Achilles, correct? Not Achilles, and then not Patroclus, people, ha? Listen, Patroclus is the cousin or friend of Achilles. Okay? Now how about Abigail?
Achilles po. Ay,
Who is Achilles? It's okay.
the great warrior from Greece.
The great warrior of Greece. Okay, yan. Great warrior. Another. Okay. You, was that, tell me who is the king of United Greek city-state and the Trojans' enemy? Who is that? Sige nga, let me hear. You write in our chat box, King Agamemnon. Yan, or Agamemnon. Very good. Now, who is king of Sparta and the brother of Agamemnon? Let me see. Okay, people, that's not Menelaus. That's not, was that? That is Menelaus. Okay, Menelaus. Okay, very good. Now, who is Hector's wife and princess of Troy, or the concubine? Ay, no. Who is Achilles, was that priestess of the Trojan temple of Apollo, or Hector's and Paris' youngest cousin, a princess of Troy, or Achilles' lover or concubine? Okay, so Briseis. No, Briseis. So people, I'll be dealing now since I think you know and you have the idea already who are those characters, no? Let's see. Who is Helen, by the way? May you give me who is Helen? Cyril.
The Queen of Sparta po, and he was abducted
By?
uh,
Abducted
by
by?
Paris.
By Paris. Very good, no? How about Jody? Who is Andromache? This is not Andromache, ha? Andromache. Yan. Papaartihin pa natin. Andromache. Okay, it's Andromache. Who is Andromache?
Teacher, can you hear me po?
Yes, dear.
Pardon my voice po because I am currently having a fever po. But I will
It's
still explain
okay.
it po.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So, Princess Andromache po is the wife of...
Andromache, dear. Andromache. I'm telling
Okay.
you, don't put an art to their name. No, it's not Andromache, it's not Andromache. Okay, it's Andromache. Go.
Okay, so Princess Andromache is the wife of Hector po.
Very good. Wife of Hector and a princess of Troy also, right? Okay. How about Paris? Who is Paris? Carl. Who is Paris? Do you have any idea? The one who abducted Helen? Younger brother of Hector, youngest son of King Priam. Ayan. So at least you have the idea already, no? So people, listen. Now, if I have questions, I'll be throwing questions from you, ha? Since we have. Now, let's discuss about the mythological background of at least the Iliad, the one in your book. So that at least you know why it was being started. Zeus, the father of the deities, seemed to have realized that the earth was getting terribly overcrowded. Okay. To solve the problem overpopulation, so he devised a great war that would sweep like a conflagration or inferno over what? Greece. So this was the Trojan War. That's why we have the Trojan War. But again, people, this would be only under the Iliad. So, why does the Trojan War begin? Listen, why it happened or why this was, it was being started. There was a beauty contest. Yan. The participants were Athena, Aphrodite, and Hera. So they are all goddesses. Now, long time ago, there was a mortal named Peleus. Who is that Peleus? May I hear, people? Who is Peleus? Sige, use the chat box. Father of Achilles. Very good. So it seems that you know already. No, it will be really easy for you. Yes. So remember, people, ha? Father of Peleus. So the gods loved him so much that they decided to allow him to marry a beautiful goddess named Thetis. Who is Thetis now? Who is Thetis? Come on, write in our chat box so that I can continue. The mother of Achilles. It's not Achilles, people. The mother of Achilles. So thank you so much, people. I know that you are really there and listening to me, no? Now, after these two got married, they have a son. Yan, Achilles. So it means Peleus and Thetis are the parents of Achilles. So in order to protect him, this Thetis, the mother of Achilles, dips him in the river Styx, making invulnerable one. Okay. So that would be the time that this Thetis, siguro yung there, just like there was a time that it was, I don't know if that would be baptized. So that this Thetis, dips him in the river Styx. But the only thing that it did not wet was the heel of Achilles. I do not know if you are really familiar with the story of Achilles' heel, right? So if there would be a case that he will be being, shot there, that's the time that he will be killed or he will be dead, because that's the only thing that it was not being dipped in the water. Now, who is this Ares, right? So Ares is the evil goddess of discord or the conflict, right? Then she was very mad because she was not invited to the wedding of Peleus and Thetis. So what she did, she plotted her, a revenge. Yan. You people, if you are not invited to a wedding, you will be getting mad. Huh? Of course not, no? We don't care, right? Who cares, right? But this Aries, she was really mad, right? Because she was not invited to the wedding of Peleus and Thetis. So what did Aries do? she threw a golden apple into the reception. So she went there. Then she threw a golden apple. Then this golden apple, it bounced right into the middle of all the guests. And then the one written there, the one tag on the golden apple was for the fairest. Yan. So we are starting now, people, the story of Helen of Troy. Then we have here at Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite all claimed the golden apple. So just like all of them received that golden apple. Yan. Pinagkakaguluhan nila. So this Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, now, who is Hera? I told you these are the three goddesses. Please take note of this. He is the queen of the gods, Zeus' wife and protector of married women. Again, Zeus' wife. Then who is Athena? Is a goddess of wisdom and just wars, daughter of Zeus. It means this Athena and Hera, they are what? Mother and daughter, excuse me. And she is the daughter of Zeus and one of the three virgin goddesses. Ay, good thing I'm not included there. No Jovalin. Okay, so joke only. Then we have this Aphrodite. She is the goddess of love and beauty. Good thing it's not also Jovalin, no? So again, we have Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. Yan. I'm seeing your smile, no? So at least at the same time, I could really ask you to smile. Are you still there, people? Okay, so I told you full discussion only, ha? So we have again the three goddesses, Hera, wife of Zeus, Athena, the daughter of Zeus, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. Or was that in Greek? This is Venus ba? Teacher? Ha? The goddess of beauty, right? Venus, right? Okay. Or Venus sa Greek, no? Yan. So they decided that the only way to settle the argument was to have a beauty contest. Yan. So it means who are our participants? We have Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. Of course, in beauty contest, there would be judges, correct? Okay, so assume that you are there in the beauty contest. According to Zeus, he said, no way. Just like Zeus will be the one to choose among the three, of course, right? He will be choosing all. How can you vote against against the goddess of love and beauty? And who is that? Aphrodite, right? In a beauty contest, just like for sure she'll be the one to win. How much trouble do you think Zeus would be in if he voted against his own wife, right? Just like if ever he'll be the one, he will be choosing the three. And then how could Zeus vote against his favorite child, right? So no win situation for Zeus because just like he's about to choose among the three. So he said, I don't like. So what this Zeus do? Since he was very smart, in thinking, he refused being the judge. Then he did not want any of the goddess mad at him because that's for sure he'll be choosing the three. Then Zeus said, let Paris do it. Who is Paris again? The son of King Priam, brother of Hector. Or just like considered the most, handsome. Okay, so Paris was a lowly shepherd who had amazing taste when it comes to beauty. So good thing I'm not yet meeting Paris, no? That's for sure he will be choosing me. Yan. I'm seeing was that the smile of Pawi? Okay. So three amazingly beautiful goddesses appeared to Paris. Yan. So they are all there in front of Paris. So he was shocked and amazed. All he could do was to stare because they are all, right, goddesses. And what do you expect? Of course, that's for sure. he will be also choosing the three, or it will be really hard for him to choose. Then what did Aphrodite do? Aphrodite offered Paris the most beautiful woman in the world. Iyan. Okay. And then Hera offered him power and cities, while Athena offered him glory and victory in battle. Okay. Just like walang itatapon, no? So all of them are really, was that a good choice of Paris? Who do you think is the one being chosen among the three? Gian,
It's Aphrodite po.
Aphrodite, very good. Eric, if I will be asking you to judge, who do you think you will be, choosing?
Aphrodite rin.
Aphrodite, not me. Okay, so good thing I'm not included there, no? Yan. Yan. At least I'm seeing your best smile, people. So, for the two, still they will be choosing Aphrodite. Just like you are only seeing, the physical appearance. Because what Aphrodite do? She offered Paris the most beautiful woman in the world. Yan. But Paris considered himself more of a lover. Yan. Because for Paris, since he's very handsome, just like he only considered himself a lover rather than a fighter. Right? Just like, not unlike Hector, his brother. Right? Then as a result, Paris awarded Aphrodite the winner of the golden apple. So same with the two, and that's for sure same with the other boys, no? They will be choosing Aphrodite. Now let's discuss Helen of Troy. Since was that Paris already chose, Aphrodite. I know that you've watched in the movie while when this Paris abducted Helen, right? It was there in the movie, people. Yes. Now there, let's discuss about Helen. The most beautiful woman in the world was married. Only that, this Helen was already married to Menelaus. Correct, people? So she was not single. Correct? Because she was already married to Menelaus. And who is that Menelaus? King of Sparta. A while ago, you said that Menelaus is the brother of Agamemnon, correct? Okay. So Paris abducted Helen and took her to Troy. That was the time that this Paris abducted Helen and brought Helen in Troy, where she remained until the end of the ensuing Trojan War. And that is the reason why we have Helen of Troy, right? Or Helen called, was that Helen of Troy? Because of Paris abducted her. Now, let's see what will happen. Knowing that this um, Helen was already married to Menelaus, right? Helen's suitors, including Odysseus, came from all parts of Greece, and from among them, she really chose Menelaus, right? Because that time. Because of what? Because of treasure. Yan. Because this Menelaus considered as the richest. Ay, nang nangyari, namatay. Uy, namatay yung laptop ko. You're there, people? Hello, can you hear me? Anong nangyari?
Yes po.
Nag-blackout. Ubusan ba ako ng load? Please wait. Okay. So, hello, can you hear me? Can you still follow?
Yes
Can you
po,
still
yes.
follow?
Yes po.
Thank you so much. Yan. Thank you so much for the answer, people. Diyos ko po, wag kang mamamatay. Okay. So, Helen's suitors, including Odysseus, came from all parts of Greece. And from among them, she really chose Menelaus because of, Yaman. Because he's the richest, king. of all. So again, who is that Menelaus? Agamemnon's younger brother. Now there, the husband of Helen. Now, nasan ako? Bakit ako bumulong? Okay. Then Paris was awarded the most beautiful woman in the world. Then Aphrodite neglected to mention that Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world was already married. She only forgot to mention to Paris that Helen was already married. So, oh, well, minor details for a goddess. What Paris did, Paris hopped in his boat and headed off to Sparta to get Helen. If you will know that Hector was really mad to Paris that time in the movie, right? So the gods take sides. Ayan. I'll be giving you only the clue for this. For the side of the Trojans, we have Paris and Hector, the two brothers. Then we have Aphrodite, Ares, Apollo, Artemis, then Zeus, favored but stayed neutral to please was that Hera. Then from the side of Greeks, we have Achilles and Odysseus. Then Hera, Athena, Poseidon, god of the sea. Now, the Greeks and the Trojans were enemies. That was the start. They were both rich city-states with mighty rulers. Now, again, we have Helen from Greeks, then Paris from the Trojans. Gulo to, right? Okay. So Helen was married to the one of the Greek rulers, and he was the king of Sparta. Menelaus was a mighty ruler who loved to wage war. He was not the brightest man in the world, but he was very rich. Like what I have said, no? He's the richest, right? Of all the kings. Though he's a ruler, but he was not smart. Why? This would be the reason why Menelaus is not smart when it comes to love. Again, why? How did Helen end up with Menelaus? There were so many men who wanted to marry Helen, but her father made each man swear an oath to protect Helen and whomever she would marry. Because since she's already married, right, to Menelaus. So once Menelaus was being chosen as Helen's husband, the rest of the men in the Greece were obligated or were being grateful to protect the marriage. So they really need to protect the marriage of Menelaus and Helen. Are you still with me, people? Okay. For sure, the people will be getting mad also to Paris. So when Paris arrived in Sparta, he told Menelaus that he was there on a mission of peace. Yan. So it means this Paris went in Sparta, the place of Menelaus. Menelaus believed him and invited Paris to stay in his home. Ayan, this would be the start, people. Why Menelaus was not really a smart king. Okay. Imagine, remember that Menelaus is the husband of Helen. But what he did, he invited Paris to stay, people, in their house. Soon after, Menelaus was called away on a business. So he went out. So Paris and Helen were there in the house. So he left his wife, the most beautiful woman in the world, alone at home with a young, good-looking stranger from a far off land. What will happen? Let me see what will happen to Helen and to Paris. Aldea, why do you think, or what will happen to the two? Why do you think this Menelaus, being called not a smart ruler? Aldea, what is your answer? Aldea, do you think they will be falling in love, this Paris and
Yeah, I
Helen?
think po, they will, Like, because you said, right, Paris is the most handsome man, and then
Yes.
the king, who he didn't really like, he only married
Ah.
for his richness, left
Mm.
their house. So,
Mm.
ayun, maybe they
Yan.
will really fall
Hoy,
in love.
so before pala may mga ano na, kabit-kabit na, right? Correct, people? Yan. So, there was a case na pala like this, no? So, what do you call this one in ano? Mga taksil. Ayan, in Tagalog, no? So obviously, Menelaus was not the brightest man alive. Yan. Medyo he was not really thinking of the situation, no? That he left, the most handsome, knowing that he has there the wife and the most beautiful also. Okay. So he was not the brightest man alive because just like he was the one also who made way for the two. Did you get, guys? Okay. So now let's have the two sides of every story. For number one, Helen at first was innocent victim who was kidnapped by Paris. That was really, the story would go. Then the number two, Helen ran off, with Paris because he was young, good looking, and is smarter than her husband. Right? So, do you think Helen would be going to Paris, people, and he will be leaving Menelaos? Agree? She will do that. Do you think she will do that? Yes. Okay. Regardless, of course, Helen went home with Paris. She joined, right, with Paris. So Paris lived in Troy with his family. So it means this Paris brought Helen in Troy. Speaking of Paris family, there is a whole other story that needs to be told about Paris and his homeland. When Paris and Helen reached Troy, they were met with grumbles. King Priam and all Paris' brothers complained, and that Paris had made a great big mistake by bringing Helen home to Troy. Why? Because that would be the start of the fight. Correct? Guys, that we have here Paris and Hector, and then Menelaus and Agamemnon. So, let's see what will happen. When Menelaus got home, yan, he found out that no Paris, no Helen, no treasure at all, and it was an empty house. Of course, he was really mad, right? What did he do? He remembered the oath. And what was the oath, Sarah? What was the oath?
Me po.
Go, dear.
It was said earlier that the rest of Greece were obligated to protect Helen and Menelaus' wedding. So, if something happens, ayun,
Just like to protect their marriage, no? Right? Of course. Just like he remembered that one, that Helen will not be doing that one to him. Right? Because they are already married. So Menelaus called the Greeks together who had taken the oath to protect Helen's marriage. So many of the Greeks did not want to go to war, just like they do not like at first, right? But then Menelaus reminded the men of how much, just like money and treasure could be theirs if they are going to conquer Troy, knowing that is the riches, right? Okay, so not to mention, all the gorgeous women. So it means Menelaus could do the things because he's very rich. So all the best of the best heroes and warriors gathered together, so they were ready for war. I think you really watched that in the movie, right? So thousands of ships, right? So now, here, Agamemnon and Menelaus were the leaders of the army, the two brothers. Before all the Greeks could gather and leave for Troy, a tragedy happened. Okay, one of the Greeks who was waiting to leave for Troy shot a pregnant bunny. This made Artemis, who is Artemis again? Who is Artemis? The protector of what? Animals. Right? So she is the goddess of the moon, the hunt, and the protector of animals. So she was really very mad. Okay. When one of the Greek was waiting to leave for a Troy when it was being shot, the pregnant bunny, knowing that she was really the protector or the protector of that. So what did Artemis do? Artemis stopped the wind. Then that would be the time that these old men kept on waiting. So she would not allow, just like any Greek, to leave for Troy until they sacrificed to her. Just like she will have also the revenge, right? Because of the pregnant bunny that it was being shot. So no wind, no war. It was stopped. So Artemis required Agamemnon. Who is Agamemnon? Who is Agamemnon? 'Di ba parang gusto niyang gumante? And she's going, they really need to sacrifice. Now, who is Agamemnon? Let me know. Joshua, who is Agamemnon? The Joshua, who is Agamemnon?
Po.
Ha?
King po.
King. King of ano?
King of Fire. Ay, hindi.
King
Ay,
of Sparta?
Apo.
Brother of?
I
Brother
don't
of?
know.
Allah, you do not know. Von, who is Agamemnon?
King
Just like,
of Mykeia?
may Sinea?
Mycenae po pala.
Oh, may
King.
Sinea.
Yes po.
And then, brother of? Who is that? Brother of Nathaniel.
Agamemnon po is king of
Agamemnon.
Greece. Agamemnon po is king of Greece and brother of Menelaus po. Menelaus.
Brother of Menelaus. Menelaus. Something like that, no? So, brother of Menelaus. So, this Artemis, right? Just like what did he say? Since she was really the protector, right, of the animals, and then this one of the Greeks was being, shot the pregnant bunny, just like she said she really wants, something, right, to be sacrificed for. Then this Artemis required Agamemnon to sacrifice one of his daughters. And who is that daughter? The daughter of Agamemnon is Iphigenia, right? Again, the daughter of Agamemnon is Iphigenia. So unless Agamemnon complied, Artemis would prevent the war by stopping the wind. So makakatuloy sila sa laban, right? But let's see if this Agamemnon would be really sacrificing his daughter named Iphigenia. Or papayag ba kaya ang nanay? So what did Agamemnon do? Agamemnon sent word to his wife, Clytemnestra. So Clytemnestra, okay, again, the wife of Agamemnon is Clytemnestra. So it's written there, yan, parang nanghihikayat, no? That send our daughter Iphigenia to the Greek camp, because if it will happen, people, the wind will be stopped and they could really go to war. So Achilles, the greatest warrior, wants to marry her before he leaves for Troy. That was written in the note, right? And knowing that Achilles, right, is the greatest warrior, and all women, like him. Of course, for the side of Clytemnestra, let's see. Clytemnestra and her daughter Iphigenia were very excited, right, to go to the Greek camp. So they got all dresses up and rushed to the Greek camp. Of course, because Agamemnon wrote there that please bring Iphigenia because she will be marrying Achilles, right? Just like for them, that would be, wow, a nice idea. Of course, as a mother, she brought Iphigenia. Again, Clytemnestra is the wife of Agamemnon. Just like parang niloko lang sila, no, ni Agamemnon. When she got there, just like no wedding, no flowers, no happy day. Right? Because what did Agamemnon do? Agamemnon sacrificed his daughter to Artemis. Right? So Iphigenia was being sacrificed or was being killed. Just like that was the time that the Greeks was able to sail again, right? Because that's only the agreement, right? So what happened to Clytemnestra? Clytemnestra cried, mourned, and hated Agamemnon. So the Greeks went to war. They continued to sail. So what they did, they robbed, they burned town, they stole treasure, they stole women, right? And this was all out on the way of Troy. So they were not even serious, just like in thinking. And that is the Iliad, the story of the last few months of the Trojan War. And remember, people, that war lasted for 10 very long years. And don't be confused that the story of Odysseus or the Odyssey lasted for 20 years. That would be a journey, right, of Odysseus. But this one, the war lasted for for 10 very long years. I will be continuing. Now, the Iliad is the story of the last few months of the Trojan War. And that would be the Odyssey. Now, I'll be dealing with a bit Odyssey, then we'll have separate discussion for that, huh? Now, what is this Odyssey? The Odyssey is the story of Odysseus' journey. Right. Okay, Odysseus' journey home from the war, and it takes poor Odysseus or Ulysses in Greek 20 years to get home. Just like to go back to his home. Just like his journey, it took 20 years. So maybe I'll be dealing with Odysseus so that you will not be, was that, it will not be, was that, you will not be confused, people, no? Let's stop. The Odysseus or the Odyssey will be discussed by next meeting. Okay, now, let's discuss a bit since we have, I think, okay, we still have minutes, to discuss. Okay, people, among the characters that they discussed, may I know who is your favorite character there? Who is your favorite character? Francis, do you have favorite character there?
No favorite po, but at least the one that caught my eye po is, of course,
Oo,
is ano po, Zeus po, because he was
si
smart
Zeus.
enough. Yeah, because he was smart
Why?
enough to handle the
Okay.
situation po between his wife and his daughters po.
Okay, very good. How about the others? Neil. Or from the story, let's discuss your reaction paper. Can you give me one situation and tell me why you really chose that, Neil? One
The
situation only.
the thing where Priam King Priam is uh, is enemy
King Priam.
uh,
What?
uh, peaceful is enemy.
Okay, so thank you. How about this Sarah, another Sarah, the 42 class number 42. Can you give me one situation or scene from the movie that you've watched and tell us? One only. Tell us what happened there.
The scene po where Hector and Achilles fought, like after that
Okay.
they fought, right? And then after that,
Mm-mm.
when Achilles already killed Hector, he tied Hector to his chariot and then
Chariot.
took him to the Greek camp. I really thought that
Mm-mm.
it was not to
Um,
be naman, pero like it was cool. Kasi it was my first time seeing something like that.
oh, just like, did you take it? That part? That was a very good, right? When they fought and this Achilles killed Hector. Just like, in Tagalog, nakakapang hina. Right? Just like me, honestly, I couldn't take it. But that was really I think the climax or really the most exciting part, right, of the movie. Very good. Okay, no, I love that also. How about Aldea? What scene do you like there?
Well, I like the scene of Patroclus because he was really our hero. Like
Okay, the scene
before,
of Patroclus.
yes, when Achilles said
Mm-mm.
that they are already going to sail by the morning, and Patroclus really cried and plead to him that they want to fight for their companions. And then when he died, when the helmet was taken off, I was really surprised because I did not expect that it was Patroclus.
That it was Patroclus because Patroclus was being disguised, right? And that's why he was being killed. And they thought that was Achilles. Again, Patroclus is the cousin or a friend of Achilles. Okay, very good. That's also nice. That's that scene, right? Because when the helmet was being removed, it was not Achilles but Patroclus. Okay? What else? What scene? Maria, class number 42. Another scene. Yes, dear.
My favorite scene would be probably
Again.
yung where Achilles and Priam talk and Achilles then and where Priam asks for Hector's body.
Okay. We will be dealing that, or elaborating that one when we'll be discussing Priam ransoms the body of Hector. That's the part there, right? When Priam went to the camp of Achilles, correct? No? Okay, that was, what do you call this one? Mabagbagang, was that something that, heart to heart, talk? That was a very nice scene also. How about Zyril? What scene? Can you give me one scene among the three that you chose?
They mentioned it already, so
So you also chose those situations or scenes? Okay. Another people. How about Kate?
This is a nature. This is a not too climatic part, but I suppose it's the talk of Agamemnon and Menelaus before war because it somehow shows the brotherly love, even though
Oh,
it's not
wow.
Agamemnon's
Mm-mm.
fight. He was willing to
Mm-mm.
take the insult because from his
Mm-mm.
brother.
Wow. I love that, no? Yes, it was not actually the most exciting part of the movie, right? But you would be seeing the brotherly concern. Of course, he was being what? Traitor, right? So for that, just like he will go to his brother, correct, Kate?
Yes po, Chair.
Okay, I love that, no? So see, you could really see simple scene, simple situation, even though it's not really the climax of the story, no? So for that, she loves that scene because she would be seeing the brotherly love, yan, of Agamemnon to Menelaus. Another, how about trends? Friends?
Chart was already said na po.
It was mentioned already. Okay. Another, may you share those situations or scenes were not being mentioned? Francis, do you want to share?
From the movie po, right?
Okay, so it was being, eaten my load. So people, so I think those situations, or scenes, I think most of you also answered the same, right? So thank you so much. I hope you really got something from